Stepped on that frog.
Welcome Home Radio Podcast. Are you looking to buy or sell your home? Our team is here with answers to guide you through the buying and selling process. We encourage you to ask questions. Please comment on this show or visit us at welcomehomeradio.net for more information. Bringing real estate, lending, and education together in one place, and to help you make the right home decision for you and your family. Here are your hosts, Blair Thomas, Tom Holm, Alan Pace, and Jeff Duffy.
And welcome to Welcome Home Radio. It is December 13th. We're so sorry we missed you in the month of November, but boy, we enjoyed Thanksgiving, and I have my stretchy pants on. So I'm rather proud of that. I did Thanksgiving well, but we're so excited to be back with you today. We're here to talk about market conditions, and should I be able to buy? Should I buy at this time? Is it a good time to approach the market? And next, I want to welcome Tom and Alan back. How are y'all? Happy Thanksgiving and all that. Merry Christmas to y'all.
Well, happy Thanksgiving and ho, ho, ho to you.
Good to be back.
It is good to be back. It's good.
You guys missed me right after my surgery. You know that I had major back surgery, right?
I thought it was a lobotomy.
Yeah, they did that at an accompaniment, so they did two for one deal for me.
And which back surgery is this?
This is my lower spine. They did a fusion, and then they did some. I got a couple pretty nice little screws back there to prove it.
360 or 180?
It was 180.
You're a rookie.
I know, right?
I mean,
I did find out something very interesting. They went in and cleaned out my spine as well because I had stenosis in it, which has immediately helped my pain in my legs. I don't have that anymore. Thank you.
It's not hardening on that sciatic nerve, is it?
Man, it's not easy. But they go in and cut that bone away, and then they grind it up and put it with kind of a glue cement and put it back on top to help everything heal. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. What kind of technology is that, taking my bone, grinding it up, and making cement with it? But working well thus far, so I'm pretty happy.
And there you have our Welcome Home medical update.
There you go.
Well, if you want me to give, I did that surgery in 2009, but mine was 360.
Oh, so you're an old hat at this.
I L4 through S1.
Gosh.
Our 360 fused spine. And then I have C3 through C6 360 fusion in my neck.
Oh, gosh.
So,
yikes.
Yes, well, I've been down that road.
I've lost all bragging rights here. Sorry. Let's talk about Christmas. Have you done your shopping yet?
I'm done.
There you go. Market conditions.
I'm done.
That's what I like to hear. Already spent the money, done the deal, capitalism at its best, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Had to get all that done, and we're still not knowing what all. I mean, my wife has got her Christmas plans. I mean, she's got me driving to Houston, then driving back on Christmas Day, and then she's out of here for a week to Kentucky. So,
wow,
yeah, she's doing it up right.
Is that her present to you? Is leaving you alone for a week? Yes. I hope I don't get it. Hope I don't get in trouble for that.
We really are getting all homey here. This is great.
It is great. It is great. Hey, guys,
the market. You should buy a home right now so you can have conversations.
I tell you what, I just got off the phone with somebody that's buying one, and I was like, what? And she's buying an expensive house, Lake Granbury, on Lake Granbury, and then she's going to tear it down. And I'm like, what?
Wow.
I know. And her realtor called while I was talking, and she, sure enough, closed on it, or she's going to close on it, and she accepted the contract. So,
wow.
So market must be good.
Market is interesting. I mean, if you get in my weekly updates, we've had 6 straight weeks of interest rate decline. I mean, it's been wonderful. And now this week we got the CPI report coming out tomorrow. And then, of course, the Fed meeting on Wednesday. We're going to find out exactly what the Fed really thinks about inflation fighting. Are they going to ease quantitative tightening, or what are they going to do?
And you make a good point. I want our listeners to understand, you've seen 6 straight weeks of decline, and has the Fed lowered its rate? No, we are not tied to that. And people just, again, get so obsessed with it, they lose track of rates are too high, rates are too high. Well, no, our rates have been coming down here. Then they operate independently of the Fed rate.
That is exactly right.
So much national media you can read on this, and you can find any opinion you want. And you're right, Tom, about, 6 weeks in a row and the Fed's done nothing. But to talk to anybody out in public, it's like, well, the Fed.
We need to declare, don't listen to that for mortgage rates. It's just it just doesn't tie together.
Listen to Blair. He'll tell you the mortgage rate.
Blair does that little thing, and if our listeners are out there and they're not receiving his little update every week, he is pretty right on, straight to the point, and very accurate with the data that he's giving. And
wow. Who's this Blair guy you're talking about?
I know. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to do anything to ever compliment my friend here, but
hey, DD214, we're talking about you.
Hey. Well, I do want to talk about something that is very interesting that I wrote about today, and I think it's very prevalent right now. You guys are old enough, like myself, to remember what golden parachutes or golden handcuffs were back in the 70s and the 80s, where companies paid people very well, good salaries, great benefits to keep employees on staff. Well, I want to change that frame of mind to golden handcuffs in real estate, that homeowners right now are golden handcuffed to their rate so much that they're not willing. In fact, what was it? It was a decline in potential buyers stating the fact that they do not want to move. It's too steep an increase in a mortgage to sell my home at 3% and buy a home at 7%. Even though it may be needed for the family, even though it may be a better upgrade or where you want to be, they're sticking, or they feel handcuffed to their mortgage plan, mortgage interest rate so much right now. And that's all an educational knowledge of awareness of what does the market deem? Because right now we're still seeing home prices go up without any change. And what's going to happen? You guys just put on your prophecy hat. What's going to happen when rates do come down to a reasonable, what they deem reasonable, maybe 5.5? What's going to happen to the market? Do they want to deal with what's going to happen to the market? And how much money are they losing by waiting? So many people don't understand.
It's funny, Tom said something about Lake Granbury, because I was actually down in that area Saturday too, and wrote a contract down there in Glenrose. And we had the discussion about waiting or not waiting, what to do. And to your point, Blair, there's 2 ways to think about it. Potentially, and we do have, in different markets a little different, but at least up here in Dallas-Fort Worth, we do have a little bit of an inventory issue with certain homes. And now, if the rates come down, and a lot of buyers that are on the fence that have been waiting for 2 years or whatever, if they start jumping on the bandwagon, then it's really going to be tough. And of course, prices will go up, because a seller's job is to get as much money as they can for their house. And if you only have so many houses in that condition that more people want than others, then you're going to do pretty well. And it's going to be hard to be a buyer again. So I just don't believe waiting is a strategy when it comes to real estate. I think living your life is a strategy. All situations are different. Strategies are different, but waiting is not a game plan, in my opinion, when it comes to housing.
I totally agree with you. I don't think waiting at all. You move as you need to for your family. If you need more room, then we need to sell your home, take what equity you've gained in that home and invest it into another one. And maybe at some point keep some money out of that next deal. But the bottom line is interest rates should not keep people from buying or selling and going to another home today. Just for the fact that the growth here in Texas across every county averages 4.9% equity growth year over year. I'm sorry, you can't do any better when you're looking at a long term. Now, if you're looking at short term, I would stress that may be a question mark. But long term, and I'm talking something 6 years or more, you're going to win in buying a home, even at 7%, 6.5%, 6%. You will win that battle.
And when I say waiting, I don't mean to penalize a first-time home buyer. There's such a thing as waiting, and there's consequences of markets. And first-time home buyers have been hit hard. But I remember being a first-time home buyer. We were flat out broke. We got the home, but we were broke. And there's a difference. Baby boomers control most of that equity that you're talking about. And it was like 60-something% of all the equity is baby boomers. And of course, baby boomers are aging, and those homes are eventually going to be given to children or come onto the market. And baby boomers some of them aren't buying any more homes. So they're going to just sell, period, and use it for their retirement home or whatever kind of place they need to be when they're old and nobody can take care of them but somebody else. So, so there's all that goes into it. But for the younger folks,
are you identifying with this, Tom?
You're all fixed up now, Tom. You told us all about it. You're going to live to be 100. So watch.
I had my 90,000 mile warranty.
You're going to be out doing marathons before you know it. But it has been an interesting last couple of years. First-time home buyers have really taken it on the chin. But the folks, 50 or older that have got some experience in housing and own some home or a house, doing pretty well. The people, they bought when they were 35. They've been in it for 15, 20 years. They're doing remarkably well when it comes to equity.
A young lady that I helped buy her first house, a friend of mine, she came into my office just last week wanting to see if we could get rid of PMI. And she bought her home right at 210.
You might explain what that is to the folks. Some of them might not know.
I will. Private mortgage insurance is required if you're in a conventional loan, if you're investing less than 20% down payment. And private mortgage insurance ensures that the loan's paid off if something happens.
And we're assuming she got a conventional loan, right?
You got a conventional loan. She was shocked to learn that right at 2 years, 1 month, her home had grown in investment wise to $298,000 in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable growth. If you're invested, you're very happy where you're at. You should be overjoyed where the value of your home is. If you're not in and you're paying somebody else's mortgage and rent is just crippling you because you'll never see any renting dollars back, I got to tell you, please consider the opportunity now where there's less competition. Don't wait. I think that's just so critical that people need to understand the value of an investment, even into a home life, not just for family, but for future. It is such a value. And again, now, Tom, I want you to help me understand, we had the BLS jobs report on Friday. Okay. Everything in the last 6 weeks has been going very well, showing inflation is coming down, showing jobs reports. ADP shows less jobs reports, but suddenly the BLS jobs report just blows the market head off the top at 199,000 jobs. What they don't tell you is, that's supposedly created new positions, new jobs. But why is it they allowed 47,000 new jobs to be defined because they're returning workers off of strike? That's not new jobs. That's just coming off of strike. If we take that 199,000 and drop 47,000, then we come in less than what the expected number was. And boy, that would have really shocked the market into we're in a recession. So why why are these reports? Because everything that's been coming over the last 6 months, jobs report wise, they have refiled a month later and changed those numbers. They decreased them every time. Why is this happening?
Well, because traditionally that's how it's always been done. I mean, they've been keeping jobs reports and giving it to the general public since the 1990s. So all presidents and all Congresses look at these numbers every, month to compare month over month average. The adjustment after the fact by the bean counters it's always done the same way, Blair, so that it doesn't distort how the numbers are being given to us. And those adjustments, they always will tell you in 2 weeks. This was the adjustment for back in November that we just made, because they want to get that first set of data out as soon as possible, is what the pressures on the government to do. But the second set is those that come back and say, okay, this was also inclusive of those returning from, strike, 47,000. So the renewed numbers were more like blah, blah, blah. So they take into consideration also against those losses as well that were where the reporting comes from. The technical side of it, I can just tell you why they do it. They've always done it that way, and they don't want to start doing it a different way. It's just like inflation. Inflation used to include the price of gas as far as that goes, how much it was and how much it wasn't. And they stopped putting that into inflation numbers on a monthly basis. Why? Because if you put it in this month, as far as inflation was concerned, it'd bring inflation down to a negative number. So they change these things a little bit over time, but I don't have a better answer than
I get a sense they're changing them a lot more recently, because I don't see as big adjustments historically as I do in the last 6 to 9 months. But I also have a theory. I'm going to throw it out there. Call me whatever you want to call me. But guess what 2024 is?
Well, that's always the assumption, but it's still being done the same way, Blair. I mean,
you're saying it's not affecting. It's not because of the election year. It's not because they're not messing with the economy of any sort. So, okay, just want to put it out there because
it's a thought. I understand, but they go to the same sources each month. They do the same thing with ADP each month. I mean, all those private industry reports that they're pulling out are directly from the same report that's given every month. So
why recently, correct me if I'm wrong, but recently we've been taking inflation numbers managed more by the CPI report than I'm trying to remember what the other old report they used to take inflation numbers from.
Well, before. CPI comes in this time of year because October's when we were supposed to do our budget as a nation. And of course, we haven't done that. We kicked the can on down the road to next year. And CPI is how they base increases with federal employees across the board. So all those government employees and all those situations where the military is involved. I mean, you've been in the military as far as that goes, that you would normally get your pay raises at the end of the year. They're having to kick that can down the road because the government, won't pass their military spending budget that they're supposed to be passing because it's leveraged against something else and something else and something else. And, I got to hold out on this and blah, blah, blah. And so it's gotten to where Congress can get one person to say, I'm going to screw everything up for everybody. But CPI is rendered at the end of the year, and we see it a lot at the end of the year because Social Security benefits are based off of that. And the benefit increase next year for those that are old enough to get it. Of course, I'm not. But those people that were supposed to get those increases, it was one of the smallest increase, not the smallest increase, but it was below the inflation rate this last year, whereas last year it was above the inflation rate. So CPI is a real important figure for budgeting. Is what kind of increases in pay should people be looking?
Well, but again, what's the impact on inflation? It was not used to be the standard for, hey, where's inflation? Because I'm hearing inflation's at 4, inflation's at 3, 3.5, or it could be below 3. And now they consider CPI being the biggest critical report.
Well, the Fed looks at the core rate of inflation, so that takes into consideration everything when they look at that.
Okay. What else is happening in the market today? What are market conditions like? Because home prices continue to go up. Whether we have limited resources of housing or not, it continues to rise, and we continue to build. DR and so forth are all doing, Lennar, all these home builders are doing very well as they slow pace their homes out there.
Yeah, I think the market's, for December, I think it's actually pretty good. You got builders doing their thing, of course, but then there's homes out there that are, for sale and being bought, and showings are happening too. So I think for this time of year, there's a people that actually need to do something in December, but there's a lot of people that need to do something but won't do anything in December. But the people that will do something in December do pretty well generally.
I think they will. I think it's a good time. And again, getting pre-approved is probably the first step by anybody to know what you can buy.
And I want to circle back to that because we talked a little bit earlier about, a plan. Well, a plan means not just getting online and researching and looking at 15 different opinions. And remember, things that you look at online are generally advertising. They're trying to make money and they want you to click. You need to call your lender, call Blair, call somebody you love and trust, and actually talk to them about a plan. Your plan might not be for a year before you can buy, but I've got people that I've helped for 3 years. I think 4 is my record. It was kind of tough for some people. It's just tough. Others, it's like, gosh, I didn't know I could buy. I could buy right now. So until you go out and get the information from real people, such as Blair, that is in lending and does lending and can give you all the current correct information, you really, that's all you need to do to start. Blair will tell you, hey, we got a 6-month plan here. Let's get started. Let's do this. It's different than just going online and, clicking all over the place. And, that's not a plan. A plan is discussion with people that know about how to get you money to buy a home.
Especially if, like you say, click or clickbait, you're not going to talk to the same person every time online, and you're not going to be able to get the same answers. One of the things I wanted to bring up with you, Tom, isn't it interesting that Fannie and Freddie have come out with their own down payment assistance programs to boast and push, opportunity recently? I mean,
well, and it's just like FHA's 101 program. I mean, what the industry tries to do, and what the key word here is, make things affordable. And that's the big push that we see, is affordability. But just like FHA, I always harp on them with keeping their upfront mortgage insurance premium at 1.75%. It discourages people to add 2% to their mortgage balance once they close on the transaction. I mean, that is, to me, a discouragement. Lower that back down to where it was pre-2013 rates. And with the same mindset, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are doing that same type of situation, because those are specific, of course, for first-time home buyers, typically, with the description on the down payment assistance stuff.
Alan, it is great to be able to be on a show and a part of something that we have a true historian on staff that, did they have that PMI or MIP back in the cave days? I mean,
I think
2013 is only a decade ago. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah, but that you remember those times. I mean, you are right on top of it.
Gotta think of a brontosaurus burger with cheese tonight.
It was April, by the way. April 30th was the last date they issued.
Oh,
Well, see, everybody, home buying can be fun. You just have to make it fun.
oh yeah. Should be exciting.
It really is. It really is exciting. I mean, you just can't believe how cool it is to have, somebody buying their first house, and they get the keys for the first time. And it's like unbelievable. I've seen grandparents cry, parents cry, home buyers cry, everybody cry. And it's a pretty cool opportunity to see other people laugh and go right into the wine too. So it's a pretty cool experience. So get started, get a plan, get out there, get after it. The market's active.
This young lady that I helped, that's a friend, just a wonderful young lady that at 22 years old owns her own home.
Yeah.
And had a plan, has been owning, and now 24 years old, has wonderful opportunity to stay in a home, build equity, growing something that is important to her. It's just a wonderful time, but you can't find out what's out there for you until you start asking somebody. As Alan said, ask a person. Welcome, Jeff. Happy Thanksgiving. So glad you're on time today.
Well, I was sitting, it's wonderful about our industry, and every one of you guys will enjoy this. I was just sitting with a lady, 67 years of age, buying her first home. Isn't that cool? Oh, but wait a minute. Let me not join. Thank you for your welcome, but I would be remiss. There we go. I'm here.
For a minute, I thought he was going
to play the Army fight song since we beat Navy this past week.
That would have been great too. Thank you, Blair. I did have a great Thanksgiving. I know I'm jumping in, so sorry to disrupt the conversation.
No. Glad you're here. We're, again, discussing market conditions and should I buy at this time or should I not? What are those obstacles? And, we talked about down payment assistance. We talked about credit or interest rate. What other things are keeping people from the market? Because one of the things, as Alan described, baby boomers, we're holding on to our homes. I'm actually scared to sell my property right now because where I would want to live is going to cost me even more, or it's not an upgrade to what I already have. It doesn't make my life any more convenient. So it's one of those static things that I can be selective and I can wait. But what are those other items that are keeping people from moving, changing, or jumping into the market?
They're happy. They're happy where they're at. I mean, some people just are happy. People like you. You're in your house.
Well, I mean, but I own real estate.
Why don't you sell?
Huh?
Why don't you sell?
Because you haven't sold your home yet. When you sell yours, I'll sell mine.
Oh, okay.
I think Tom's pretty cool.
I think you're right about that, Alan, but I would take it one more thing. I think there's a younger generation that is very happy, that is happy renting. They like the loose, free lifestyle, not being locked down, not having to take care of yards or anything. They like to be able to get away on the weekends when they want to, all of that, and that they are in that rent race, but they are happy. You're right. Well,
there's, I don't know. I still talk to so many people that are, say, 27 to 40, let's say, and they're not owners, they're buyers, but they're all over the potential buyers. But some of them, the older they get, weirdly enough, they're like, all right, I'm cool with this lifestyle. This is my future. But there's others that still want to do the family, the marriage, the dog, all that stuff. And it's just been a little rough on them the last couple of years.
Marriage, the dog, all that stuff.
Hey, I saw a homeless guy out in front of Sprouts this morning. He had his pups with him. He didn't need the rest of that. He was happy.
All he needed was to get married.
I asked him, I said, what do you need? He said a tarp and a sleeping bag. So
we have gone off the rail. We have officially gone off the rail.
No, really, we haven't. Dogs are a big reason people, when you rent a home from a landlord, You can't hardly find a house to get a dog.
What do apartments charge for having a pet?
Too much. I mean, animals are a big deal. They're family to some folks, and
They are. To
Yeah.
some folks, they are to me.
Tom,
Blair,
do you let pets in your
your
rentals?
best buddy too. Don't even shake your head.
I know.
He
I
is
know.
your buddy. He's family.
Tom, do you let pets in your rentals?
No.
There you go, Blair.
Okay, so how many of those rentals still have pets though?
I go by and check. If
You
they
do?
do,
Okay.
I know.
He does a free cleaning just to have somebody go in there and look for dog hair.
Exactly. I have my AC guy go over there once a year as well. So he always
You
Blair, I
slumlord, you.
do have a question for you though. In consideration of what we're talking about, the buyers. For example, I had somebody call me this morning and I asked the question, I haven't heard back, and said, Jeff, can you work up a net sheet for me? And I did. And then one of the main things that we discuss with contracts and deals we're working, I said, what's the interest rate? 8.39. And I said, well, the rates dropped. I haven't heard back from them. I worked the net sheet for them. But Blair, I think it's important for people to realize that even when they've started this process, that what we've seen in the last month of the rates dropping, they need to recalculate and reload, and they need to have a lender who's going to do that for them I don't want to say constantly. I'll stop there. But please, I think it's important for people to know you're not locked on that. Is that?
Well, I don't know about that lender. They may have done a 30-day lock on that, and they've been locked for a while. I mean, I wait until the best time and the buyer agrees. And so far, I've been locking in less than 10 days and doing the best and getting some very good rates. I haven't done anything in the 8s. Nothing. Zero.
That's why that really surprised me. I was like, oh. Now, again, everybody's situation's different.
Plus, that's an odd rate at 8.39. That sounds like an APR.
I think it was 3.9. It was 8.3. It was
Was
somewhere.
it an investment property?
8.375.
That makes more sense.
But yeah, rate. We talked earlier about rate, and we talked. It's the bottom line is rate is what is rate. I mean, it's just a rate that you're borrowing financing money.
Can I quote you on that?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Please do. Rate is rate. The bottom line is what the investment we're buying, and are we growing my investment in doing this or not long term? If you're looking at a short term deal, then yeah, I would definitely question what we're doing. But if you're looking at 6+ years, I stand by. That's a great investment into real estate. The returns are there historically. We have 80 years plus worth of data, and we show positive. Only 7 years are negative in the real estate market. Only 7 in the 80+ years. And so even the decades that those are in was positive. So a great investment, get into a home, pay yourself. A mortgage is paying yourself, not someone else's rent. Now, Tom, I definitely don't want to. You provide a great service for a lot of people, and I'm sure you have some longtime people that you just love, and they love you. It is a great thing to get into that. But
He's a businessman.
But if you are looking out for your family, I would want you to buy any of my children. I want you to buy a home. I want you to get into the real estate so that you have an investment that's there and it's equity available later. It's thrilling to have a 67-year-old. I just wonder if she did a reverse mortgage for purchase or a HECM. So, the bottom line is there is great opportunity for anyone wanting to get into this market if they have the wherewithal. And boy, the opportunities are there with all the programs. I mean, somebody asked me the other day, I was so proud about our construction loan solutions for veterans and FHA. And then they finally go, well, do you have a USDA? And I said, yes, we have a USDA one-time close construction loan. And for the right person in the right geographical location, it's a great zero down opportunity.
Is that up in Wyoming or something?
So
No, we have a lot of them around here. In fact, where you went for Granbury, just outside of Granbury, there's a USDA area.
Cool.
So, I will share this morning that kind of shocked me. You were talking about different groups and everything, and it just stuck on my face this morning. I was driving by, and there's a Starbucks, and of course, this is the fanciest Starbucks right there. But lo and behold, I'm driving past this place, and I'm seeing a young man get out of his car, drinking one of those energy drinks, those canned energy drinks, while walking into Starbucks. I'm thinking, wow, you're buying an energy drink, and then you're going to have a Starbucks latte, cappuccino, whatever. Just blew me away that you need that much caffeine to get up in the morning.
What'd you call that drink?
The Frappuccino Kappa, whatever.
that sounds like something he orders every day.
I also something he said is stuck on his face.
Yeah, a couple of shots of tequila too. I would be all right.
I thought that was what they call the nitro brew or whatever they have.
Yeah, but it all gets back to, there's a lot of good stuff you can read about. People don't have any idea how much they spend either. Gosh, like you just described, $12, Blair, that drink I can't pronounce plus
at least
the other thing.
At least, I agree. 12.
And then you do that 20 work days a week, and there's significant electric bill right there easily. And so I think people, and you mentioned age earlier, Blair. It's true. There are people that live their lifestyle and they're just not thinking of buying. It's not they ain't what they're thinking about. They're thinking about tomorrow and right now, and the car and the drink and the restaurant and the entertainment and the trips. And you could still do some of that when you buy a home and make money and pay yourself, but it is interesting. But even back when we were young, there's people like us that did it. I know people that never bought, they rented, and they had reasons for doing so.
But is that, Alan, because what you're saying is really on the thoughts that I was having in the last 10 minutes, in that, is it just generational, that it's more now than, we were all raised with this is what we do. Is it just a generation, or is it just have to do with what everyone's experiencing in day-to-day life?
I think it's a combination of things. Generational has got to be part of it because, our parents fought in wars and our grandparents fought in wars, and we were relatively spoiled compared to, those folks. And now our kids are even more spoiled. A lot of it was provided for them. College was paid, or every little thing to make everybody happy. And I don't know if we did such a good job as parents, teaching our kids values and things. So there's some of that too. So I think it's a little bit of everything, really. I don't know, but I know it happens, and it's still happening. And coffee's $6. It's ridiculous.
Not this cup, brother. It's black. There's nothing in it. It's just a cup of coffee.
That's that old free office coffee, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Put the K-cup in the machine and go with it.
And there's Tom. He just been to the gas station.
But let's not get too far from that. Our expense, what we spend every day is a huge part of it. And in day-to-day life, we all have so many more expenses that add up, just like that cup of coffee. I don't want to go down a trail and beat a dead horse, but it really is. That's the way we live. I say we, proverbial we.
Yeah, and there's nothing, if it's your lifestyle and you want to do that, then good for you. You only get one life. Live it the way you choose to live it. And if you got options to travel the world, and I got a client who I helped buy and sell a house, and we sold his house and moved in with his dad because his dad's getting old and he's helping out. He's traveling. He goes to 3 countries a year, single young man, having a blast. I got nothing but, I love that. I think that's a great thing to do. Kind of wish I did.
Dad, I'm here to help you. I'm moving in. See you later.
Pick me up at the airport next week.
Yeah,
I'm going to put my stuff in the room and then I'm heading. Yeah.
I guess that's living there together.
That's well, it's his dad. So his dad, but it's working out great.
That's an adjustment period, sir.
Oh,
slowly. You got to make sure everybody's good with it.
Yeah, but when did that adjustment period change? When did it change from 17 years old to 25 years old adjustment period? I mean, I don't know.
It's a great way to get, just to make sure you guys are listening. I love that when you are. It's a wonderful thing. I love this Welcome Home Radio stuff. This is good.
Well, Tom, we are so happy your surgery went well. I'm glad sounds like you're recovering well. I mean, are you still going through rehab?
Oh yeah, I got PT for another 6 months.
It wasn't any facial surgery. Obviously, you didn't do any kind of skin facelift or anything.
Whoa, hello.
They did the lobotomy on me, but that was it.
You know what? Jeff gets here late, dressed like a priest, and he goes off.
I know.
I'm telling you,
right to it.
I don't have my collar on. I did not earn the collar. I assure you that, my friend.
Man, start throwing that stuff coming on here this late, boy.
Yeah,
I know.
It's coming back. It's coming back. But no,
I think you look nice.
Merry Christmas. I love that we were able to get back together. I think this is a great market for people to at least understand and spend some time understanding where you're at, because like Alan says, you don't know what you can buy. You don't know what you can do until you start asking questions, whether it's a reverse mortgage for purchase or a first-time FHA loan, a veteran VA loan, and you're getting out of the service to, hey, can I move up? Should I move up? Should I refinance? I mean, I can't believe it, but cash out refinances are back strong in the sense of interest level. They are asking those questions. Can I pull money out? And it is very possible, depending on your combined interest that you're paying, whether it's that mortgage rate and your car note and your credit cards. And oh, by the way, an update on the credit card debt. We're at $1.47 trillion. And again, it's still expecting to be by $2 trillion by the end of Christmas.
That's a T, right, Blair?
Trillion.
That's a T. I just want to make sure everybody caught that.
What comes after trillion?
Huh?
What comes after trillion? What's next? Squared?
Gazillion.
I think
we're owned by China.
Or we start calling it yen.
I never thought we'd live long enough to talk more than a T, but whatever.
Well, I will share this with you real quick. Just FYI, I don't know if this will bring up any more topics or talks or anything, but are y'all aware of what Mr. Warren Buffett has done?
Well, he's made billions of dollars.
This weekend or this week? What?
Got on his private jet and flew somewhere with his kids?
Not. At 2023, this year, he has now liquidated $28.7 billion in stocks, liquidated because he doesn't trust the economy.
But he's also got that commitment to give all that money to charity, too.
You know, that goes hand in hand with the big headline on Market Watch this morning about everybody thinks next stop Dow 6,000. And when they start predicting that, you got to wonder if the big guys aren't kind of getting out.
Well, Berkshire Hathaway, I think it's the largest investment firm, isn't it? Next to BlackRock. Am I correct there?
It's got to be close. I wouldn't know, but I mean, it's up there.
You know, you got to understand if one of the largest investment companies has pulled out that much, $28.7 billion out of stocks, something's up.
There's another reason to buy a house. Everybody got to live somewhere.
Recession. I'll say it here on the show. Recession. We're there. We've been there.
You're still hoping for that recession thing.
I'm not hoping. It's here. It's just you don't want to acknowledge it.
Well,
No one does. That's why the credit card debt keeps climbing. Everyone's sticking their head in the sand.
Yep.
Keep spending.
I
But
think
guess
that's
what,
true.
folks? We're not Bank of America. They won't bail us out.
I do like the way
sorry.
this show
I
has
didn't quit.
this show has really gotten diverse. We talk about medicine, procedures, children.
Let's not talk about big pharma. I'm not going there.
If you got any questions about life, anything, folks, welcome.
We might just get X'd out and blackballed. You start talking big pharma. Don't go there.
really,
our lines will be cut, sir.
I'll have to sell my Pfizer stock.
Oh, Tom, really? Oh.
Well, not till he's off the drugs.
It's just like tobacco. I got to buy our vices: tobacco, liquor, and medicine.
And big pharma. Okay.
Big pharma.
Well, listen, we're going to cut it off. Thank you so much. Again, Merry Christmas to everyone out there. I'm Blair Thomas.
I'm Tom Holmes some of the time.
I'm Alan Pace all of the time.
I'm Jeff Duffy. Please email us your questions, or you can see Alan's number, our numbers. Mine is 214-794-5969. We're all here to help. If you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you so much.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Welcome Home Radio production provided by Lunatic Digital. Check the listing of this podcast for the links to our sponsors. And don't forget to like, share, and follow us on social media. Visit welcomehomeradio.net for more information. This was a Lunatic Digital production. Visit lunaticdigital.com for all your digital needs.